Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Big question for you. So what do you do with a wheelbarrow load half full of chicken feathers and a couple buckets of coagulated chicken blood? Well, naturally you compost that. The problem we have is we don't have the compost bin built yet. So let's get to work on that. That is disgusting. So I'm here in what I like to call Kelly's backyard pleasure garden. We'll just leave that alone. And one thing, obviously, with the garden that you always need more of is compost. As we plan to expand the garden at some point next year, obviously to amend the soil, compost is really big. So we want to try to get a compost bin going. We've never done that. We don't have one. So to build this, I want to use items that we have plenty of. We have plenty of sawmill slabs still. And we also have quite a few rolls of fence wire remnants. So in true Red Tool House fashion, I'm working on the roll of fence here. Where does the roll go? Well, it takes off and goes over the hill, through the electric fence, of course, that's energized, and into the creek. So this will be fun. Well, okay, since composting bins aren't the sexiest thing in the world, we're going to build it back here behind the greenhouse. Kelly's mowing the grass behind me, so hopefully that's not too bad. If you're wondering, why is Kelly mowing the grass, Troy, and you're doing the other work? Well, Kelly won't allow me to mow the grass. That's her chore. I don't do the lines right. So anyway, build the compost bin right here behind the greenhouse. This is north facing, so it won't interfere with our light. We've already been piling up some grass and wood chips here to try to get it started. So we'll get it built in here and kind of notch it out and slap it together.
right there. Wood chips are looking like they're almost composted.
Yeah. They had a lot of green in them too.
A lot of what?
Green, because it was, they trimmed the trees, they were
Yeah.
green. This isn't the easiest thing to get spot to get in and out of, is it? Okay, so what I've read about composting, of course, is you mix your greens and your browns. So we've got our wood chips down as Joel Salatin likes to say, a carbaceous diaper to hold all this nitrogen we're going to put in. Instead of green, we're going to put red. And a little disclaimer: this bucket and chicken feathers and other assorted parts here been in the sun for about 4 days, so you'll be glad that there's not smell-o-vision associated with this. But there's a lot of fly larvae that you're going to see, so you may want to turn away. If you don't even know what fly larvae are, you definitely want to turn away. So we're going to dump this in our little spot that we made here. We'll try to do it without wearing it all either, because that would be nasty. Oh, ooh, that smell. Yeah, that's a little ripe. Oh my goodness. They killed that pretty good stuff. Gonna burn that bucket. Hey, the bucket's crawling away on its own. All right, so now we're going to put some wood chips on top of that to help cover up some of the odor and pestilence. So glad you decided not to do tacos and Mexican rice tonight. So I'm going to put on top of all that brown now, that's on top of all the blood and guts, some of Kelly's fresh garden grass clippings from grass cutting tonight. Much more pleasant smell than the rotting pestilence. Now, you may be wondering, is this something I've come up on my own? Clearly it's not, those of you guys that do compost. we saw Joel Salatin do this. If you've ever been to his farm, he takes chicken processing day, which of course is a regular thing at his place, and he takes all the eviscerate, all the leftover parts, of course, feathers, bones, anything that's left over, and he keeps large piles of wood chips in a side building, and he'll do the exact same thing but on a huge scale. He'll almost make it like a wood chip salad bowl. Just try to pile it up on the edges as much as possible with a big bowl in the middle, and he'll dump all that eviscerate in the center of that and then pile up wood chips on top of it and just make a big old cap or lid of wood chips on top, and it breaks down beautifully, turns into great compost, doesn't smell, doesn't attract critters or rodents. So it's a pretty neat setup. So I ran out of daylight last night before I could obviously shoot this wrap up. So it's the next evening, and clearly have the compost bin in place here. Just have this little fence across to keep the dog from trying to go through and dig out the scrap. But it's amazing. Again, I don't recommend. Joel Salatin doesn't leave all of his chicken parts laying around for 4 or 5 days in the hot sun. I don't recommend that. But even though putting that very rotted, very infested product inside these wood chips, covering back up, then even put some more grass clippings on top, it's amazing. There's no odor at all. I mean, it's completely gone. No flies buzzing around, nothing. So it just amazing how all of that just works together. The nitrogen, the carbon, all that working together to break each other down, or whatever scientifically it's doing. So the big question is, well, isn't this, since this is just all made out of sawmill slabs and just scrap wood, isn't it going to rot out soon? Yeah, it probably will. It'll decompose with the rest of the wood chips, and that's fine. I mean, it's probably going to last a year or two, but that's fine. That's kind of the point. Obviously, we've got more slabs. Don't have any money tied up in this. The fence, chicken wire is from the old pastures. So $0 in this for something that'll help generate some compost for us. Bin number 1, so we'll fill that up as it starts to break down and needs flipped. Then we'll flip it over here into the smaller bin, and be more concentrated there hopefully. And we'll just keep adding to it. So we'll make sure we do updates on how this is working out and what kind of nice compost we're getting. Again, we got tons of wood chips, so we'll keep adding wood chips and keep adding grass clippings and other food scraps and dead critters maybe. We'll see. All right, take care everybody.